There's an oil that's been used for more than 3,000 years across the Middle East and North Africa. It was even discovered in the tomb of Tutankhamun. Ancient Egyptian physicians relied on it for respiratory issues, digestive troubles, and stubborn infections that didn't respond to other treatments. Across cultures and centuries, it earned the name the seed of blessing. To be honest, when I first encountered it in scientific literature, I assumed it was another traditional remedy that sounded impressive but wouldn't hold up under modern research. I was wrong. What really caught my attention wasn't its long history. It was a series of studies published between 2019 and 2024. These papers showed that a compound within this oil, called thymoquinone, can selectively trigger cancer cell death in liver, colon, prostate, lung, and breast cancer cell lines, while leaving healthy cells unaffected. That level of selectivity is what separates meaningful science from noise, and it shifts how we think about what a simple dietary oil might do in the body, especially after 60. I'm Dr. Thomas Harrison, and I spend much of my time reviewing research papers that most people never see, focusing on what actually matters rather than what just sounds promising. Before we go further, a quick and important note. This information is for educational purposes only. It is not a cancer treatment protocol. If you have a diagnosed condition or are taking medications, especially chemotherapy or blood thinners, please consult your oncologist or primary care physician before making any changes. That said, the science here is worth understanding. Let's start with the basic protocol based on current evidence. The oil in question is black seed oil, derived from Nigella sativa. Its key active compound is thymoquinone. Human safety studies suggest a commonly used amount of about 2 teaspoons per day, roughly 10 milliliters. It should be taken with food, ideally a meal that includes some fat, because thymoquinone is fat-soluble and absorption depends on it. The oil should be cold-pressed, organic, and stored in a dark glass bottle, since light and heat can quickly degrade its active compounds. Avoid cooking with it or exposing it to temperatures above 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Instead, add it after cooking. Drizzle it over food, mix it into meals, or take it directly. That's the full protocol, about 2 teaspoons daily with food. Now let's look at why this works. Understanding the mechanisms is what turns this from a random supplement into an informed choice. The first mechanism is selective apoptosis, programmed cell death. Every cell in your body has a built-in self-destruct system. This is how the body removes damaged or dangerous cells. Cancer cells, however, survive by disabling that system. They effectively switch off the signals that would normally lead to their own destruction. Thymoquinone appears to reverse that process by reactivating a key protein called caspase-3. Think of caspase-3 as the body's demolition crew, sent in when a cell is beyond repair. Cancer cells shut that crew down. Thymoquinone brings it back online. A 2021 study published in Biomedicine and Pharmacotherapy by Ahmad and colleagues at King Abdulaziz University examined this effect in liver cancer cells. Using multiple controlled cell cultures, they found that thymoquinone reactivated the caspase-3 pathway at concentrations achievable through dietary intake. In simple terms, it encouraged cancer cells to carry out the process they had been avoiding, self-destruction. The most striking part? This effect was selective. The same activation did not occur in healthy liver cells nearby. The cancer cells were affected, the healthy ones were not. Now, to be clear, this was a laboratory cell study, not a human clinical trial, and that distinction matters. However, similar selective effects have been observed in multiple independent studies involving colon, prostate, lung, and breast cancer cell lines across different research groups and countries. The pattern is consistent, and that's what makes it worth paying attention to. Frank, 68, began exploring this after his brother was diagnosed with stage 2 colon cancer. He watched him go through surgery, then chemotherapy, followed by a slow and difficult recovery. What unsettled Frank most wasn't fear. It was the sense that he had no proactive role to play. His own medical reports looked reassuring. Blood work was normal. Colonoscopy was clear. But normal didn't feel like enough when someone close to him was fighting for his life just a few feet away. So Frank started digging into research. Not hype, not testimonials, and not miracle claims. He focused only on published studies with credible institutions and real data. Black seed oil stood out. It wasn't about treating disease. In his words, it was about adding a layer of protection his current routine didn't provide. He settled on a simple habit, 2 teaspoons each morning mixed into his oatmeal. That's the mindset here. Not replacement, not treatment, and certainly not false hope. Just a consistent daily addition supported by biological mechanisms. Now, the second mechanism is anti-angiogenesis, and this gets to the core of how tumors grow. A single cancer cell on its own is relatively limited. It becomes dangerous when it manages to build its own blood supply. Tumors release signaling molecules, most notably vascular endothelial growth factor, VEGF, that instruct your body to form new blood vessels directed straight to the tumor. It's essentially hijacking your internal infrastructure to fuel its own expansion. Thymoquinone appears to interfere with this process by downregulating VEGF. A 2020 systematic review in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences by researchers at the American University of Sharjah mapped this effect in detail. Across multiple cancer models, thymoquinone reduced VEGF expression by roughly 40 to 60%. In practical terms, that means limiting the tumor's ability to build supply lines. Without a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients, tumors struggle to grow beyond a small size and become more vulnerable to the body's defenses. Metastasis also becomes far more difficult without that vascular network in place. To put this into perspective, this is the same biological pathway targeted by certain pharmaceutical drugs. For example, bevacizumab, Avastin, is an anti-VEGF therapy used in oncology, often costing thousands per treatment. The mechanism is similar. The difference lies in strength and scale. Thymoquinone works more gently, which is why no one is suggesting it replaces medical treatment. But as a daily dietary compound influencing the same pathway, the logic is compelling. There's also an important practical detail many people overlook: absorption. Thymoquinone is fat-soluble, meaning it requires dietary fat to be properly absorbed through the intestinal wall. If you take black seed oil on its own, without any fat in the meal, much of it may pass through without being effectively utilized. Pair it with foods like eggs, avocado, nuts, or olive oil, something with healthy fats, to ensure proper absorption. Now, the third mechanism involves a pathway I've discussed often, the AMPK-mTOR axis. AMPK acts as your cell's energy sensor. When activated, it shifts the body out of growth mode and into repair and maintenance mode. One of its key roles is suppressing mTOR, a major growth signal that cancer cells exploit to multiply rapidly. mTOR is essential in normal physiology, but when it remains chronically elevated, as often seen with aging, excess calorie intake, or insulin resistance, it creates an environment that supports cancer growth. A 2019 study in molecular cancer therapeutics from King Saud University examined thymoquinone in prostate cancer cells and found that it activated AMPK while simultaneously suppressing mTOR. In simple terms, it applies the brakes to one of cancer's primary growth accelerators. This is the same pathway influenced by fasting and regular exercise, two strategies often recommended, especially for people over 60. What makes thymoquinone interesting is that it engages this pathway through a different mechanism, meaning the effects can complement each other. If someone is already practicing time-restricted eating and staying physically active, adding black seed oil may provide an additional input into the same protective system. And there's another benefit here that goes beyond cancer. When AMPK is activated, it also stimulates autophagy, the body's internal cleanup process. This system removes damaged cellular components, misfolded proteins, and worn-out mitochondria. So while thymoquinone may be helping to slow abnormal cell growth through mTOR suppression, it's also enhancing the body's ability to clear out cellular waste. Two distinct advantages, driven by the activation of a single pathway. Helen, 71, began adding this to her morning oatmeal after watching one of my earlier discussions on autophagy. Her daughter left a comment that stuck with me. Mom said if it helps clean cells and fight cancer, that's 2 birds with 1 teaspoon. And honestly, that's a fair way to put it. It lines up closely with what the AMPK-related research suggests. Now, the fourth mechanism is the one that surprised me most, immunomodulation. It's important to be precise here because immunomodulation is not the same as immune stimulation, and that distinction is critical, especially after 60. A lot of supplements claim to boost the immune system. That sounds appealing, but it overlooks something important. Conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and lupus are examples of an immune system that's overactive in the wrong way. Stimulating it blindly in someone with autoimmune tendencies can actually make things worse. Thymoquinone works differently. A 2022 review published in Frontiers in Pharmacology by Salem and colleagues looked at 14 separate studies on its effects on immune function. What they found was quite balanced. Thymoquinone increased the activity of natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells, the immune cells responsible for identifying and destroying abnormal or cancerous cells. At the same time, it reduced inflammatory signaling molecules like TNF-alpha and IL-6, which are associated with chronic low-grade inflammation. In simple terms, it sharpens the part of your immune system that targets threats, while calming the part that causes unnecessary damage. This dual action helps explain why black seed oil shows up in research beyond cancer-related topics. For example, a 2017 study in the Saudi Journal of Biological Sciences found that 2 grams per day of Nigella sativa, combined with standard omeprazole, performed comparably to triple antibiotic therapy in eliminating Helicobacter pylori, the bacteria linked to stomach ulcers and increased gastric cancer risk. That's notable for 2 reasons. First, traditional triple therapy often disrupts the gut microbiome, wiping out beneficial bacteria along with harmful ones. Black seed oil achieved similar results while preserving microbial balance. Second, H. pylori itself is classified as a Group 1 carcinogen by the WHO, meaning eliminating it is a recognized cancer prevention strategy. So this immune balancing effect isn't working in isolation, it's influencing multiple systems at once. For anyone over 60 dealing with persistent digestive issues, recurring infections, or a history of H. pylori, this is something worth discussing with a gastroenterologist. Now, the 5th mechanism is DNA protection, and this connects directly to why cancer risk increases with age. Your DNA is under constant stress, oxidative damage from metabolism, environmental exposures, UV radiation, and inflammation. When you're younger, your body repairs this damage efficiently. But after 60, those repair systems begin to slow down. Unrepaired DNA damage can lead to mutations, and mutations are the foundation of cancer development. Thymoquinone appears to support this system by activating a pathway called NRF2, which acts as your body's master antioxidant switch. A 2023 study in the journal Antioxidants by Darshan and colleagues showed that thymoquinone activated NRF2 in human cells, increasing levels of glutathione, your body's most powerful internal antioxidant, by about 35%. Put simply, it doesn't just supply antioxidants, it tells your body to produce more of its own. And that's a key difference. Taking something like vitamin C or eating antioxidant-rich foods provides external compounds that get used up quickly. NRF2 activation, on the other hand, enhances your internal defense system, boosting compounds like glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and catalase. It's the difference between adding more supplies and upgrading the factory that produces them. And after 60, when that internal factory naturally slows down, supporting it becomes especially meaningful. Margaret, 64, had been spending over $200 a month on antioxidant supplements, CoQ10, vitamin E, resveratrol, astaxanthin. When she came across the research on NRF2 activation, she didn't abandon those supplements, but she told me it completely changed how she viewed antioxidant support. As she put it, those supplements were like bringing in finished products from the outside. Black seed oil, on the other hand, was signaling her body to increase its own internal production. Both approaches can be useful, but one works at a more foundational level. Now, here's where everything comes together, and why the combination of these mechanisms matters more than any one of them alone. These 5 pathways don't operate separately inside your body, they interact. AMPK activation suppresses mTOR, reducing the primary growth signal cancer cells rely on. Anti-angiogenesis limits blood vessel formation by lowering VEGF, effectively cutting off the tumor's nutrient supply. Selective apoptosis reactivates caspase-3, triggering damaged cells to self-destruct. Immunomodulation enhances the activity of natural killer cells and T cells that target abnormal cells. And NRF2 activation strengthens your body's defenses against DNA damage caused by oxidative stress. Together, they form a coordinated system, each mechanism reinforcing the others. That kind of multi-layered effect from a single dietary compound is relatively uncommon. That said, it's important to be clear about the limitations. Most of the strongest evidence comes from cell studies and animal models. Human data is still emerging. One phase 1 safety trial involving 70 participants showed that 200 milligrams of thymoquinone daily for 90 days caused no serious adverse effects. Liver, kidney, and blood markers remain stable. That's reassuring from a safety standpoint, but it's not the same as large-scale human trials proving cancer prevention. Those studies are still needed. So what we currently have is strong biological plausibility, consistent findings across multiple studies, confirmed safety at typical doses, and a compound with a long history of traditional use, all at a relatively low cost. Now, a few important precautions. Avoid heating black seed oil. Thymoquinone breaks down quickly above 150 degrees Fahrenheit, so don't cook with it. Add it after cooking or take it as is. If you're taking anticoagulants like warfarin, consult your doctor first. Thymoquinone has mild blood-thinning effects that could increase bleeding risk when combined. If you're on diabetes medications such as metformin, monitor your blood sugar closely. Some studies show black seed oil can reduce fasting glucose by 15 to 20%, which could potentially lead to low blood sugar when combined with medication. A practical approach is to start with 1 teaspoon daily for the first week, then increase to 2 teaspoons if well tolerated. Now let's talk about what to realistically expect over time. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, many people report digestive improvements, less bloating, smoother bowel movements. That's likely due to its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects in the gut. Some may also notice a slight boost in energy. By the end of the first month, if you're tracking markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, or IL-6 with your doctor, you may begin to see reductions. CRP, in particular, often shows measurable changes within 4 to 6 weeks. Between months 2 and 3, deeper cellular processes begin to build. AMPK activation, NRF2 signaling, and immune optimization aren't things you feel directly, but they're happening at the molecular level if intake has been consistent. Studies measuring immune cell activity have shown meaningful improvements around the 8 to 12 week mark. That's where the longer-term protective effects may start to take shape. Here's the key takeaway. Black seed oil is not a cure for cancer, and it should never be treated as one. But its active compound, thymoquinone, influences 5 well-documented biological pathways that are closely tied to how cells change with age, promoting the removal of damaged cells, limiting abnormal growth signals, supporting immune surveillance, reducing inflammation, and protecting DNA. A simple routine, about 2 teaspoons daily taken with food, costs relatively little and carries a low risk based on current safety data. We're still waiting for large-scale human trials to confirm long-term outcomes, but the underlying biology is strong enough to justify serious interest. This one area I'll continue to watch closely as more research develops. If you found this helpful, consider following along. I regularly break down new evidence in a practical way, especially focused on what changes in the body after 60 and what you can realistically do about it.